Welcome to the Citizen channel and the Odds Show. We're going to have a look at the game against Leicester City on Boxing Day, the 26th of December 2021, a 3 p.m. kickoff. There'll always be a City leading, of course, in these odds. We'll look at the odd Leicester thing, of course, if it looks a little bit of value there. And obviously, any Leicester fans tuning in, be great to see you. The charity bets, there'll be a couple of charity bets today. Another couple of wins in the last game against Newcastle. So both bets, both wins. So even more for the charity pot. So obviously, let's keep that going. As I say, I'll take any losses and any profits we make go to a little pot and nominated charity at the end of the season. So all well and good. Let's add to that, hopefully. And please, if you keep your fingers crossed for me, that'll be great. Please, I don't condone gambling in any way. Only bet what you can afford, and please be gamble aware. And obviously, if you do have problems, there are organisations out there, or please get in touch with me. I can point you in the right direction. Right, so let's have a look at some value on Manchester City versus Leicester City. And all these prices, they don't change too much. I've noticed they changed slightly over a couple of days. I did have a look a couple of days ago before I did this vlog. But these prices are at the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, at 10 a.m. in the morning. General odds to win the league. City have drastically moved in here. I think the last game we did, excuse me, it was 8-13 on for City to win the league. Now, one of the best prices you can get if you shop around at the big guys is 4-11. So obviously the bookies are quite impressed with City at the moment, and so am I. Let's hope it continues, and that doesn't start going the other way. But if you wanted to put money on City to win the league now, you can get 4-11. So if you still believe in other teams like Chelsea and Liverpool, that means there'll be some good prices there as well. So if you fancy that, you Liverpool and Chelsea fans, you might be one or two watching. Have a look at that as well. Leicester, interesting enough. Obviously, I've not got the odds to win the league. I think that's fairly out there. I'm not gonna even look at that. But a top six finish, which I say they sit ninth as I'm recording this, and they've not had a greatest start with injuries and various things. So top six is possible. Obviously, they finished fifth the last couple of seasons, but you still get 13-2 on Leicester finishing the top six. So if you're a Leicester fan or just a football fan in general, and you want bit of interest, that's not too bad odds, is it, to finish top six? I think they've still got a lot of potential, Leicester, to improve this season. The match odds themselves, generally 1-5, but more like 2-11 and 1-6 on for City to win this game. So there is the odd 1-5 knocking about, but they've sort of said they could get those a couple of days ago better than you can at the moment. 13-2 for the draw. Again, you can get the odd 7, but not so. Not many bookies are offering that. And of course, a Leicester win, the best I've seen is a 16-1 with Sky. I mean, considering the beat us last season, all right, a bit of a funny one that, wasn't it, at the start of the season? But 16-1 with Sky, if you're a Leicester fan, you might risk the odd 50p. Right, before I go on to the sort of general, the main sort of things, obviously the City team, it's going to be a funny one. Watch my preview show if you can, guys, just to explain some of the reasoning behind this City team. But it is going to be funny. We're not suffering from COVID as such, but we're suffering from naughty boys on the step syndrome and players who perhaps mentally aren't quite at it at the moment. So it'd be an interesting team to see. So I think I've sort of more or less gone with the Newcastle team plus one or two little tweaks. So the basis of all my little ideas and value today is this City team, which if I get 6 or 7 of this right, I'll be quite happy, because I just don't know what's happening in Pep's mind and what's happening behind the scenes. But and even his press conference, he's not giving anything away, unfortunately. Edison, Cancelo, I've gone for Diaz, Laporte, Zinchenko, Rodri, Bernardo, Gundogan. I've assumed he's back. I just don't know. KDB, Jesus, and Sterling. So there you go. Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, Zinchenko, Rodri, Bernardo, Gundogan, KDB, Jesus, and Sterling. So that's my basis for this little vlog. Right, first goal scorer. You can get 5s generally on Sterling, Foden, Mahrez, and Jesus. You can get 6s on KDB and Grealish. 13-2 on Gundogan. And Bernardo, if you fancy him, he's been a bit quiet last couple of games, hasn't he? He's 15-2 with Bet365. Your Leicester guys are out there. I mean, Leicester guys, wow. I mean, there's some good prices on those if you're interested. I mean, Vardy's 12-1 with 365 for first goal scorer. Daka's 14-1. With 365, and also with 365, the old Nacho man, Iheanacho, it's not done overly well against us, has he? When he's played, he's not played that many games, but returning player syndrome. You can get 16 to 1 first goal scorer on him. A couple of outside City ones, of course, Cancelo, you can get 16 to 1. And an outside Leicester one's an interesting one as well. You can get 22 to 1 on Maddison. But the one I'm more interested, but again, this week, there's not a lot of value on this one. Anytime goal scorer, all the main City culprits are far too low. They're all well below 2 to 1. But the closest you get is probably Bernardo at 15 to 8 with 365. But again, the interest is with the Leicester players. I mean, Vardy, you can get 3 to 1. And Daka, you can get 7 to 2, both with 365. So that's interesting. Vardy, and I mean, you can actually Dutch Vardy, because I'm going to look at Iheanacho as well. He's 4 to 1. So if Vardy and Iheanacho play, you can probably Dutch those two at 3 to 1 and 4 to 1 and make some money. Anytime goal scorer. I mean, say it doesn't matter if City beat them 2-1, 3-1, or 4-2. It doesn't really matter, does it? But they're interesting bets. And the only real value on City players, I think, are probably Cancelo, who's got potential, but he scored a goal last time, didn't he? So it's not we don't particularly think he's going to score again, but he's 5 to 1. And Diaz is an interesting one. He seems to be getting in the box more and more these days. He's 9 to 1 with Paddy Power and Betfair Sports, but most of the other bookies are like 5, 11 to 2. So 9 to 1's not a little bad price if you fancy Diaz as an anytime goal scorer. Both teams to score. Yeah, a lot of people think so. The bookies not particularly by the scores. I mean, they're offering both teams to score no at 4 to 5 and both teams to score yes at even. So the bookies don't think that. But a lot of wise minds or people out there are thinking that both teams might score. And yeah, I probably agree with that, to be honest with you. And that's my first charity bet. I'm quite hoping and hopeful for a City win, but I'm not surprised if Leicester do score a goal. I know City have kept a couple of clean sheets recently, but Leicester are the sort of team that can score a goal, and I'm sure we can score more. But yeah, so I'm going to go for that. I think it's too tempting at evens, but I managed to get 1.1. Yeah, I've done my first charity bet. Both teams to score yes at 1.1 on Smark. It's the bet, and that's where I do all my bets on the exchanges, of course. So a little bit of commission on that, but it'll still be better than evens. So that's not bad for me. So that's my first, so fingers crossed, guys, that's my first charity bet, and I certainly won't put you off that. Correct scores are interesting. I mean, City wins 1-0, you can get 10 to 1 with 365. A 2-0, you can get 7 to 1 with 365. A 2-1, you can get 21 to 2 with Bet Victor. A 3-1 is 10 to 1 generally. A 3-0 is 15 to 2 with Bet Victor. A 4-0 is 11 to 1 with Bet Victor. And an interesting 4-2 is 40 to 1. Generally available. You fancy a lot of goals. The draws are interesting. I'm hoping not, obviously, but 0-0 is 25 to 1. And Bet Victor are offering 17 to 1 and 30 to 1 on a 1-1 draw and a 2-2 draw, respectively. So if you think as a Leicester fan it might be a draw, I'm sure many City fans are not thinking it's going to be a draw. But there you go, a Leicester win. Very interesting. A 1-0 Leicester win. Can't see it, but 50 to 1 with Coral. A 2-1 Leicester win is generally 45 to 1, so that's doable. And a 3-1 Leicester win is 150 to 1 with Bet Victor. So if you think Leicester will hit us on the break and score 3 goals to our 1, there you go. Half-time, full-time. This is another one I quite like this. The look of this, but I nearly went for it, but I didn't. City. You can get the best you can get on a City is 4 to 6 with Coral. I more prefer. I don't want it to be like this, but I more prefer the draw in City, which is 10 to 3 with Sky. And a draw is 11 to 1 with 365. Leicester at half-time, City at full-time is 22 to 1, so total turnaround. And if you fancy Leicester to win at half-time and full-time, you get 40 to 1 at Corals. But yeah, interesting. I say that 4 to 6 City with Corals was interesting. As I say, Leicester themselves, again, another team that's getting a lot of players back. It's hard to know what team they're going to put out. In my preview show, I didn't even predict a Leicester team because it was just too difficult to understand who was back from injury, was going to be fully fit after the COVID and stuff and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, I say that's the main interest to me. Obviously, City and a draw and City are both the sort of two options. Draw and City at 10 to 3 with Sky looks fine. And charity bet, yeah, he's going to be on the goals over under. Yeah, I mean, we have had some tight games, but we can score plenty of goals because Leicester try. I've tried in the past to play football. They always try and hit City on the break. That's their style, of course. and over 3.5 is very, very tempting for me, and generally is evens knocking around, but also the bookies are offering 4 to 5 on under 3.5 goals. So you got over 2.5 goals is 4 to 11. I think that's pretty nailed on. If you don't mind betting odds on 4 to 11, 3 goals in the game. Yeah, it's a good chance, 4 to 11. I mean, I'd be tempted a little bit at that, but over 3.5 goals is evens generally. Under 3.5 is 4 to 5. Again, very close those two. It's hard to shout. Over 4.5, yeah, is it going to be 5 goals in the game? 7 goals in it last year. Not our way, of course, but there you go. But that's 23 to 10 for over 4.5. That's not bad at all. But my charity bet, my second charity bet, I'm going to take a chance at over 3.5 goals, which is at 1.1 again. Same thing as last time on Smarket. So I say less commission. I'm still getting a little bit better than even, so I'm happy with that. So that's my second charity bet. Yeah, winning margin. We have a quick look at that. City by 2 goals, which is the one I would go for, is 3 to 1 with 365. A 1 goal winning margin is generally 7 to 2, as is 3 goals, as is 4 or more. So you can get 7, you can dutch a couple of them if you fancy it, still make a profit, can't you? So that won't be too bad. Leicester to win by 1 goal is 18 to 1. Good price for Leicester fans. Leicester to win by 3 goals, which is what it was last season, of course, with the 5-2 win. You get 125 to 1. So there you go, generally. So if you fancy that as a Leicester fan, I'm sure no City fans will do that. Cards are interesting. As I say, some of these things, because I bet the exchanges, I don't get the option of going on it, but they are very, very interesting. And over 2.5 at 4 to 7 for me is very, very tempting indeed. Over 2.5 cards in the game. City and Leicester don't really average many. I think we both average, say, 1.5 a game. So yeah, but that with a, I think it's going to be a competitive affair. I think that's good. Over 2.5 at 4 to 7. I won't put anyone off doing that one. Corners is another one. I think again, it's not going to be end-to-end stuff. It's going to be fairly tactical. This, I don't think it'll be City plowing. City will be prodding and probing, etc. But I can't see it being loads of corners. So the under 10.5 evens, which is what it is on most of the bookies, looks a good value, to be honest with you. So I certainly won't put anyone off doing under 10.5 corners. And finally, to finish today's odd show. To score first, there's not a lot of value on City. I think it's 1 to 4 on or 1 to 5. But as I said, I don't mind Leicester scoring first as long as we stick 3 or 4 in their net, without reply. But yeah, again for Leicester fans, perhaps 22 to 5 with Bet Victor, so well over 4 to 1 with Bet Victor for Leicester to score first. Looks very, very interesting. I won't put anyone off that. So there you go, guys. That's the odd show for the Boxing Day extravaganza at the Etihad. I'll be there cheering our boys on, of course. So the 2 bets, both teams to score. Oh, hopefully with a big City win, though. Yes, at 1.1 with Smarkets, and of course over 3.5 goals. I don't know. Possible. And I'm hoping I've got over 3.5 goals in the game. So a nice 4-1 to City will do me. Even a 3-1 to City will do me. At 1.1 again with Smarket. So both at 1.1. So at least we've got odds again. So any of those win me. Nice little bonus for the charity pot. Anyway, let me know what you're doing, guys. Any little interest you've got in this, any little flutters, or let me know if you win after the event, whatever you've done. That'd be fantastic to hear from you. And if you're watching this before Christmas, have a great one. If you're watching this at any other time, have a great New Year, have a great Easter, whatever you want to have. But obviously it's the odd show, so it's only pretty relevant to this 26th of December 2021 match between Manchester City and Leicester City. Come on, City, let's do it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We're going to do this today. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Only one simple thing. I ask you all to stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.